Ah, Texas. 850 miles from Orange to El Paso, 900 miles from Brownsville to Texline, and thousands upon thousands of highways and dirt roads in the middle. Exploring Texas ain't no small vacation, friend. It's a lifetime endeavor. But what if you don't have years, but just one single day? Well, that's where we come in. From the well-known landmarks to the completely obscure dives and hideaways, and all within a day's reach. So let's hit the road. I'm Chet Garner, and this is the Daytripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Today we're headed to the healing waters of Texas's Palo Pinto Mountains and a little town built on a Texas kind of crazy. Mineral Wells. Mineral Wells! Mineral Wells is about 80 miles west of Dallas, past Fort Worth on Highway 20, then up on Highway 180. Mineral Wells has a population of about 17,000 folks, but despite its size, there's more history and stuff to do here than in many big cities. However, history aside for the moment, let's get this day cranking at Mineral Wells State Park. Complete with all the great state park activities, but we're on a mission to climb. At Penitentiary Hollow, one of the most unique places to climb in Texas. Where to climb up, you must first climb down into one very interesting crevice-like formation, surrounded on every side by towering walls of conglomerate sandstone, making Penitentiary Hollow a climber's playground. Due to the brittle character of the sandstone, the only climbing allowed in the hollow is top roping, requiring climbers to use existing anchors bolted in above the rock faces. I've asked my friends Jason, Brandon, and Greg to come along for the climb.
Nothing's gonna stop me from coming home to you.
The rock is especially fragile when wet, so any sign of rain and the hollow closes for climbing. Luckily today, the Texas sunshine has not let us down.
Comes for me to leave. You can rest assured that I'm coming back for you. Back to you.
Penitentiary Hollow is full of dozens of routes, ranging from easy to expert, and including some pretty nasty overhangs. Now, I'm no expert. That's why I brought these guys to make it look easy. But perhaps even more interesting than the climbing itself is the way Penitentiary Hollow got its name. The legend goes something like this. Back in the day, jail space was very limited, so law enforcement used the hollow to keep prisoners confined within its walls. One guard standing at the opening was all it took. Without climbing equipment, escape was impossible. And any attempt made, well, that was just a failure to communicate. Is the legend true? I don't know. Turns out neither do local historians, who told me to just make something up and they would back me up. Well, in that case, here's the true story. There was once a drifter named Penitentiary Jack. Named that because no penitentiary could hold him. Well, one day he was camping out in the wilderness and a bear jumped out. Yeah, a ferocious Texas grizzly bear jumped out. Well, Penitentiary Jack hadn't eaten for a few months, so he decided that it was time for dinner. The bear pounced, Jack fought back, and after hours of hand-to-hand combat, Jack slayed the bear. As a trophy, he hollowed out that bear and wore it like a fancy top hat. And that, folks, is how Penitentiary Hollow got its name. You don't believe me, do you? Well, I can't say I blame you. It was a ridiculous story. I guess the mystery lives on. Another unique thing the park has is access to the Lake Mineral Wells State Trailway, a 20-mile path following an old railroad line connecting downtown Mineral Wells with the nearby city of Weatherford. It costs a small fee to ride the trailway collected on the honor system. The path is just a slow, scenic ride, easy for every type of rider. And while the whole thing is 20 miles, the best stop is just 3.5 miles from the park. Well, in my humble opinion anyway.
Garner, Texas. How awesome is that?
Garner is named after an old gin operator who I may or may not be related to. I tried doing a whole day trip here, but besides one restaurant, all I found to do was take a picture by this sign, which, unless your last name is Garner like me, probably has no interest to you. So there are cooler places nearby to day trip to. Much cooler ones, in fact.
Welcome to Cool, Texas, with 238 of the coolest cats around. Actually, make that 239. Hey!
And let me just say, I don't think it's any coincidence that Garner and Cool are so close together. Cool, like Garner, is a very small town with one very cool flashing yellow light and one very, very cool diner. Who's hungry? Step across the wooden porch, read the signs, and you'd think you had this place pegged as any typical small town diner. And you'd be right. And you'd be wrong.
Dee's is a hometown diner, which means you could probably guess half the menu with your eyes closed. Chicken fried steak, burgers, chicken, fried okra. Yeah, but on the back, it gets a little different. How about kusa, kibbeh, falafel, grape leaves? You see, the front of the menu has all the standards, but the back is Lebanese food. You didn't see that one coming, did you? Bam! Hit you right there in the taste buds.
That's right, one diner that is basically two restaurants. But why in the world would a small diner in Cool, Texas serve Lebanese food? Well, why don't we ask the owner?
So this is Dee. Thanks for having us. So tell me a little bit. So have you been cooking your whole life though?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I have. My mom used to work. I used to come home from school and make dinner.
Okay, for the
I
family.
did.
Yeah, that's good.
So I started out small. Some Lebanese food is on the bag. That's how I learned to cook, and that's what we grew up eating.
Full-blooded Lebanese?
Yes.
Okay.
I have grape leaves and some kibbeh, kusa, stuffed squash,
Those are words.
falafel.
Those are words I bet a lot of people have never heard in their life out here.
No, a lot are not familiar.
So, and then, I mean, obviously, you guys, people have ever eaten the chicken fried steak and the staples, right? You can't be a small town
Right.
diner without that stuff.
Right, a lot of cowboys here.
Yeah.
A lot. But I just wanted to bring something different out in the middle of the
Sure.
country, out in the middle of nowhere here.
Oh, yeah,
no
yeah.
staff.
Cool might be a hemisphere away from Lebanon, but that hasn't stopped Dee from sharing her heritage with folks here in Texas, which some seem to love.
Oh, I do like the Cusco. It is very good.
You had Lebanese?
No, I haven't. I haven't
Someday?
had it, but someday, yes, I'm certainly going to try that.
Just because the BLT's too good, huh?
Yes, the BLT is very good.
So some might be a bit hesitant. Not the Daytripper.
Oh, thank you.
Do you need anything?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Check this out. Lebanese food on this side, country classics on this one. And this is called kusa. It is a squash that's stuffed with rice and meat and topped with a tomato-based Lebanese sauce. Never had it, and I'm excited about it. That's good. If you've ever had a stuffed bell pepper, it's sort of similar, but instead of the spice, the squash gives it a sweet flavor. It's just a home cooking deliciousness to it. Wow, this is all really good. And then, how could you go wrong with fried okra? The good old country boy that never left Mineral Wells, and over here he's partying with the world traveler that went to Lebanon and came back. I like this. I mean, look at this place. Small town. To a T.
It just goes to show that you never truly know what awaits when you try something new. And Dee's Diner is an unexpected delight. Okay, I'm sorry for that one. Time to head to town.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
Nowadays, downtown Mineral Wells shows some signs of life, but mostly feels like a past boom has left this town busted. And that is exactly what happened. But to understand the mineral wells of today, you have to understand the mineral wells of yesterday, which all goes back to this spot right here, the location of the very first well dug by a man named James Lynch. Today, this spot sits in the middle of a scenic corporate parking lot, but this spot right here was here before anything else. James Lynch was one of the original settlers in the area. He got tired of traveling miles for drinking water, so he dug a well. Upon first taste, he figured the water to be a bit strange. But out of necessity, he drank it. Well, after a couple months, Mr. Lynch was in top form again. His rheumatism had gone away, and he and his family had never felt better. Well, word spread quickly that the Lynch well had healing powers. Folks flocked from all over to drink his water. Of course, others wanted in on the craze, so they dug their own wells. And very soon, up popped the town of Mineral Wells. The town became an international tourist destination, hosting the highest of society. Folks came in from all over to drink the water.
Ah, that is delicious.
Bathe in the water.
Ah, that is refreshing.
And generally just relax and return to all-around good health. Elaborate resorts started opening, including the Crazy Hotel, built over the city's famous Crazy Well, a luxurious resort in its own right. And then they built this, the Baker Hotel. Beautiful, elaborate, indulgent, huge. Completed in 1929, the Baker Hotel was one of the finest resorts in the country. 14 stories tall, a rooftop ballroom, bathhouse, bowling alley, outdoor pool. Life was good in Mineral Wells. But then, things started to change. Advances in medicine and tighter FDA standards slowly caused the water culture to evaporate, leaving only traces of what once was. Like many buildings, the Baker Hotel is now abandoned. The windows are boarded up, and no one's allowed inside. It is but a shell of its former glory. But folks around here are always hopeful that somebody, someday, will come to town and restore the Baker to its former glory days. But with an estimated price tag over $60 million, it might be a while. Until then, the Baker sits silent, as do all of the wells of Mineral Wells. That is all but one, the famous Mineral Water Company, the only place left in town to taste that one-of-a-kind crazy water. The famous Mineral Water Company was started in 1904 by Dr. Demuke, a Waco pharmacist who was told by doctors that his days were numbered. So he headed to Mineral Wells, binged on the water, and was soon healthy again. He left Waco for good and founded the famous Mineral Water Company. Today, the company bottles Crazy Water, the brand that became a household name and made Mineral Wells famous. To see what the craze was all about, I met up with the owner, Carol Elder.
All right, so this is it.
This is it. I'll give you some samples on Crazy Water. We have Crazy Water 1 through 4. The higher the number, the higher the mineral content. You start with number 1. Number 1 is actually, there's no minerals in it at all, but we alkaline it.
Okay, is it gonna taste crazy?
No, it'll taste pretty much similar
Here it
to
goes.
a purified
Crazy
water.
water. See if this works for my rock climbing elbow. Ow.
All right, so that's number 1.
Tastes like water.
Tastes like water. So
That's good though.
That's
it's
good.
clean,
Yeah,
nice water.
Okay, so now we're going to jump you to a number 3. So this one
Okay.
has all the minerals in it.
So is this coming out of different wells, or how do you get things to higher concentrations?
It's all about depth. So the different depths, you get different combinations and levels of minerals.
Why did we skip number 2?
Number 2 is actually just a blend of the 1 and the 3.
Okay,
It's
so
for people that aren't quite ready for a full mineral taste. But I can tell
I can handle
You
this.
can handle number 3.
All right, cheers. Number 3. Okay, it's starting to taste a little more, for lack of a better word, minerally.
Minerally, it has a
Yeah.
little flavor.
Still tasty.
There you go.
All right, give me the hard stuff.
Okay, now this is it. This is number 4. It's the one that people really think of when they think of mineral well. It's the stronger mineral content water.
They came here to get well, and this was the one that was going to do it, right?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay. Even stronger.
Even
yeah,
stronger.
even stronger. But still good. Ah, I like it.
And the reason why it's called Crazy Water is back in like 1881, a lady came here to Mineral Wells who was demented. And after drinking the water for a period of time, she was supposedly cured of her crazies.
Okay.
And so then it became known as Crazy Water. And like modern day, we can send things to a lab and do a mineral analysis on it. And what they discovered is the water actually contains lithium,
Lithium?
like trace amounts of lithium. And so that's probably what they think may have helped the crazy lady.
Okay.
Seriously, Look at all the minerals found in the water. It's like a liquid multivitamin, which explains why folks started feeling healthier after drinking it. So it doesn't make you crazy, it helps your craziness.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, a non-FDA approved statement, yes, it helps your craziness. Today, those crazy nutrients are being put in everything from soaps to lotions and bath salts. Folks thought this water could cure anything. At one point, it was even concentrated down and sold as Pronto-Lax. No need to explain that one. But it might just make this the largest bottle of laxative in the world.
Drink crazy, live crazy.
The water served is still the same, but it can now be mixed with lots of flavors, making for one crazy delicious crazy soda. But I gotta limit myself. I wouldn't want to cure all my crazies, now would I? As the era of crazy water dried up, soon mineral wells entered into another one. The era of the Vietnam War. While the war was literally around the globe, this Texas town made a huge impact as the home of Fort Walters, the U.S. Army's main training ground for helicopter pilots. And while the base is now closed, its memory remains, along with the growing National Vietnam War Museum. If you've ever seen pictures, documentaries, or movies about the Vietnam War, then you've seen the iconic Bell UH-1 helicopter, commonly known as the Huey. In the dense jungles of Vietnam, these helicopters became critical for patrolling, troop transport, and whatever duty required. It was here at Fort Walters that Army pilots learned to fly these, and that is exactly why the museum is just down the road. This currently small museum has big plans, but already has a half-scale replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. Quite a reminder of the invaluable contribution made by our troops, and one that I'm sure Mineral Wells is proud to have been a part of. Down the road from the museum is another place worth a stop. You know, I'm not usually one to spend time frolicking amongst the lilies, but for Clark Gardens, I'll make an exception. This 35-acre botanical oasis contains plants, fountains, flowers, and almost anything that grows. What started as the small private garden of Max and Billy Clark is now a Texas-sized facility to satisfy even the greenest of thumbs. But here's my favorite part. A G-scale model train set. Complete with its own tiny mineral wells and Baker Hotel. Choo-choo, baby. But for a town that prides itself on crazy, I give you the Laundromat. Or should I say, Lomdronat. Complete with a washing machine museum. How's that for crazy? The Laundromat is indeed a fully operational laundromat, with the added bonus of being a museum dedicated to the evolution of the washing machine. From tubs, to basins, to boards and bins, this place has it all. So while you're anxiously pacing and waiting on your laundry to finish in the modern machines, just stop and be thankful that you aren't having to use one of these things. You see, it's amazing what you can dig up in this town. Now to dig deeper. So summon your inner paleontologist, because we're going back 3 million years at the Mineral Wells Fossil Park, a free public park giving visitors the chance to dig up actual fossils and take them home. The fossils in the park are from the Pennsylvania period, when this area sat below a shallow sea. The park sits in what used to be a landfill hole. Luckily, all the trash is gone. However, the years of erosion exposed thousands of fossils, just waiting for day trippers like us to dig them up. Just bring a shovel or two, some time, and some patience, and eventually your hard work will pay off.
Hey, Richie! Hey, Richie! Come here! Come here! I found something!
Look at this, look at this. This is really something. Oh my goodness, it looks like some sort of a dinosaur bone. There has to be more around. There's a piece of something here. Oh, this is really something special. You have to be extremely delicate. These are millions of years old. It's a complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skull. This whole place, this must have been some sort of tar pit, or maybe this baby Tyrannosaurus was a feast for someone. Oh wow, I found an entire piece of a rib cage and 2 tiny T-Rex arms. All right, we probably should mark this spot off and really do some more serious excavation. There has to be more. There has to be more all around. We have to find more dinosaur bones. Look at this, look at this. This is really something.
A complete Tyrannosaurus! This place is really something special. This is amazing! I found a T-Rex. All right, that's well done. Let's go, guys.
You might not find a tiny T-Rex, but I guarantee you'll find fossils. As the sun sets, we're going to move on down the road to the southwest corner of Palo Pinto County in the town of Strawn to visit a little place known as Mary's Cafe.
Why? Well, because when you're this close to a chicken fried steak this big, you just have to.
A walk through Mary's stony castle-like exterior leads to a dark and dingy lair known as Mary's Dining Room. Little light peeks through the shrouded windows, making sure the secrets of Mary's and her famous chicken fried steak stay safely hidden. It is a recipe in tempting taste buds for over 25 years. So secret, we weren't even allowed in the kitchen for fear our cameras would capture a small piece of the magic. But what goes into it? We don't know, but we do know how she cooks it. Instead of deep frying the steak, she fries it on a flat iron grill, a method some call the old-fashioned way. If you can brave the perils of the dark dining room, a feast of Texas-sized proportion awaits.
So these chicken fried steaks as big as
Yes.
legend says?
Well, they're as big as the state of Texas. Eat half of it today and half of it tomorrow.
Can you finish one?
Nope.
No. Not even
I'll eat it
close.
3 more times at work next week.
You get 2 meals for one. That's value.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Best in Texas? We'll see, but it might definitely be the biggest.
You know, most diners in Texas will tell you they serve a big chicken fried steak. But here at Mary's, they mean it. Are you kidding me? This is gigantic. This is the large chicken fried steak. It's actually multiple chicken fried steaks. Doesn't fit on the plate. I've got at least a good 2 inches of steak hanging off of the side of the plate. I've got mashed potatoes over here, and then a whole lapping bowl of Mary's creamy gravy. Grr. Man up. You know, it is remarkably different from all the other deep fried chicken fried steaks. I expected it to be kind of greasy just with the way it was cooked, but that crust is still crunchy. Don't get me wrong, it is still greasy, but in a good way. I don't even think I need the knife. Yeah, you don't need the knife. Just ditch the knife. Go straight into it with the fork.
The only thing bigger than this steak was this day. While the craze is over, Mineral Wells remains crazy. And from its rock climbing to its hotels, we got to experience history. Some serious history, some not so serious history. But to make this steak history,
I gotta call in the backups. I'm gonna need some help on this. So, I'll see all y'all on the road. Bye con Dios, amigos. Y'all gotta help me out with this thing. I mean, this is a monster. Ain't no way I can finish this. Anybody? Is that good? Is that good?
What we have here is a failure to communicate. In immaculate condition. Imagine him alive today, roaming the land of mineral wells.
They don't make them like they used to.
That's on the credit.
Ran into my good friend Clark Gable. We went out to shoot some sport, shoot some trap, and have a cigar. Some brandy and cognac, but I gotta say, this water is much better. I can already feel my back pain disappearing. Oh, I can feel my bowels moving already.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Daytripper on Instagram and at the Daytripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Daytripper.
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Daytripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Daytripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Daytripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.